Now you put my name and my
relationships from the love doctor.
Love doctor? That's a stretch. I'm the heartbreaker. Look for me if you want to break someone's heart. Not the other way around.
Wow, we've already started and Ivan is already causing. Welcome everyone to the Raw and Fearless podcast by Mavuno, Young and Fearless. And we have awesome people today who are going to be helping me, I'm going to be helping them talk about something very interesting, relationships. But before we begin, I want to start from that side. Calls himself the trouble child, but he'll get to introduce himself and tell us how many people he has dated so far. Take it.
Wow. Hi. My name's Eric James. As usual, trouble child is what I've been called. How many people I've dated?
Tracy, remember your mic is live. I can. Yeah.
Define date. I feel like.
It's a simple question, by the way. It's just a one number
It's
question.
how you define dating.
Just
how
a
many
one
people?
number question. This is not even. We've not even started yet.
Okay. I want to say 5.5, but the half is 5.5 is something.
All right. Next.
My name is Berto.
What's your second name?
Kado.
The other one.
Don't you dare, Quentin. Do
All
not
right.
He's gonna
dare.
keep on the
All
whole
right.
names. So, yeah.
Yeah. How many people have you dated?
It's my private business. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Madam Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy. Anyway, how many people have I dated? Like because I want to or because I felt bad?
Whichever.
Okay,
I'd
just
have them.
one.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
I'm Ivan, and the amount of people I've dated, I think it's on the same realm of 2.5. Cause no, it's just 2.5. Let's leave it at that. Yeah.
And I'm
that's the
Quentin.
word.
I'm married.
How many people have you dated?
the only
How many people
person-
have you dated? And you know, we know you. We've known you.
Yeah.
I'm a nice person.
Everyone who's dated Quentin, comment down.
When you started.
Now, see, there'll be no comments.
That's what we hope.
Play comments are disabled.
Comments
Yeah.
disabled.
All right, so we're talking about relationships. And the first thing I'd like to ask is, when do you think is the right time to date in relation to when you're financially stable or when you're still broke? When do you think somebody should date? At which point? Bato is rolling. Yeah,
I feel like that question was specifically targeted at me
Yeah,
because
why
we've
would
had
you
that
think that,
discussion
Batu?
before. But anyway, so because I've started speaking, let me just say I don't think anyone has any business dating if they're broke.
I disagree.
Ivan is out. All right.
Yeah.
You said you disagree.
Yeah. I mean, Manze, love requires no dollar bills or money. Manze, love or relationships in that sense is a matter of emotions.
Bato is looking at me with eyes like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you.
you will deal with that behind the scenes. If no other video gets published, Quentin was murdered. But
I'm the ghost.
But
I'm
I-
the glorified body. People will
yeah,
get
I'm
that.
genuinely believe
Quentin.
that money should not become a factor unless you're aiming for marriage.
But
You can date without aiming for marriage.
I'm really trying to not start an argument.
You can date
At
without
the
aiming
beginning
for
of-
marriage.
Come
Then
on.
why are you dating? For fun.
XP points.
What's the point of dating?
Yeah.
Actually, answer Tracy's
What's
question.
the point of dating? To experience the full bandwidth of emotions.
Damn.
I speak
It's
that.
like a Wi-Fi
No,
connection.
no, I want to
Oh,
that.
Wi-Fi, get it? Didn't.
No, get out.
To experience the full bandwidth of emotion,
yes.
which you cannot experience outside dating.
All right.
Yes. It's emotions move different when another person is involved.
So, Bato, you'd never date a broke guy.
To put it candidly.
No, I said no one has any business dating. I wouldn't date anyone if I was broke.
Would you date a broke guy?
He's not.
Can I plead the fifth?
No.
That's a
The,
no.
the pleading is the answer in itself.
Can I plead the fifth? Well, define broke. again. Like, so if you have a stable job but you're building something,
They don't have a job.
They are not building anything.
no, I would not.
They just have dreams.
Yeah.
That's
Fantasies.
crazy.
They're a nice person.
I feel like
born
so
again
at my
Christian.
age, I'm very old. There's no way. That's like that. What?
Even your
I
20s.
can't even.
You're not
I
old.
can't even. I can't even comprehend that. I'm so sorry. Like I can't. Like a guy without a job.
Ivan
I'm so
doesn't
sorry.
have a job.
Ivan is like 19, bro. Like,
Oh,
honestly,
geez.
he's allowed to not have a job.
That's
What if
sad.
my aim is to... No.
So this is the
Stuart.
thing.
No.
So for me, Q, a guy who would ask me out,
Yeah.
who's my age, still living with their parents,
Yeah.
and has no job, and
Yes.
just dreams, like just like is okay. Just like I can't even compute that. That doesn't make sense to me.
But I would argue that if the roles were reversed and it was a guy going to a girl who's still living with their parents with no job or anything, do you think that would be a big factor if it was a guy coming to you?
I feel like it would. For me, I wouldn't if I was staying at home with my parents and without a job, I wouldn't even, dating would be the last thing I'd be thinking about.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Why not at your...
Because I just feel insecure, bro. Like I can't do that. I can't. Oh my gosh. I think I don't
What
know.
do you think, Tracy? I want to hear Tracy.
Wait, I want to ask her a question first.
You've turned on me too.
No. I fully support you 100%. But I want to know, so are you going to feel insecure because it's like you can't go like 50-50 on things? Do you feel like he'll provide for you while you're just
No,
there?
I don't want to feel like, so it would, financial, so even things like planning for dates, like if I can't contribute to that discussion, like I don't want any part of it.
Oh. So wait. If you go on a date, he can't take you on a date and pay for it.
That's different.
Uh-huh.
Then if we're planning a date together, like, hey, like this is your schedule for the month, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So this is where we can go. Do you want to hang out here? I don't want to be like, no, I don't want to hang out there. And then I can't give an alternative suggestion because I know even I can't afford it.
So let me
It
ask
just
a
makes
different
it very
question.
awkward.
Let me ask a different question. Would you date somebody who earns less than you?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Huh? What do you
There
know?
are two answers there.
I wouldn't know that they were earning more
No,
or
no,
less.
if you knew, like you've not started dating, but you know.
I know how
But-
much he's earning.
Yes, and you like them, and they like you.
But they're earning less.
That's fine.
Half less. Like half of what you earn.
They're earning money. That's the like they're doing something with their lives. That's the thing. They're
So
building
money-
to something.
Money is
not
the
the issue
big
then.
part.
It's a
No.
big factor.
So what do you mean by financially stable?
So I mean stability. You want someone who can, like, if you ask them what are your 5-year plans, that they can actually tell you because they're working towards it. Not necessarily building dreams in the air where like there's no foundation.
No.
But they're like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. It
So
doesn't
wait,
make sense.
wait. You can have someone, like this is the question. What if somebody has a 5-year plan, is smart, and then just life has happened to them? They've not been able to get a job because probably the market is saturated. Would you date somebody like that?
I don't understand why we need to date. Like I'm like I would like, dude, just focus on you right now. Like get it right first, and then after that is done, after life stops beating you up, then focus on.
You're going to
Or
sit there and wait for
you want to date a finished product.
No, I'm just saying like you have to be on a specific trajectory.
But a financial specific, like a specific financial trajectory. Because you're saying
Not
dreams
necessar-
are not good enough.
I'm not said
You're
dreams.
saying visions are
Ivan,
not...
I'm sorry for being offended.
I'm so
I've not
offended. I have a
said,
15-year
I've not said
plan.
dreams are not good enough. I've just said they need to, like, you need to at least have a job. Like, at the bare minimum, have a job.
What?
I don't know why. Like, why are you so desperate to date if you have no job? Like, what are you? I don't get that. I genuinely can't understand it.
Because what does a job have to do with the person you're dating? That's the question.
Money has everything to do with everything.
That's a very
That's a hot take.
that's a very
It's not even a hot take.
No,
That's
that's
actually
just
the
twisted.
reality. Like, this is the world
But
we live in. You
are
can't even
making
go
it-
anywhere.
You're making it as the main thing.
I'm not
That's
making it the main
problem.
thing.
You are.
I'm just saying, at the bare minimum, like before you think about dating other people, just get a job.
Jeez.
Jesus.
So it can be any job,
Yeah.
anything.
Be
Okay,
working.
awesome. Good point. Because now the question comes in: would you date somebody? Let me
But I've
use
just
an
said
example.
yes. I would if they're earning less than me.
No,
I
let
would
me
date
use an
them.
example. If somebody who has a cat, kokoteni, that's a business they do. They deliver water. Wow.
No.
Now we see.
That
Now
answers
we
the
see.
question.
All right,
Yeah.
can I clarify? I'm not laughing at them Kokoteni. I'm laughing at the fact that Q is looking for the most ridiculous example to
No,
give.
because you've said that
Any
as
job.
long as they have a job. So
Yeah.
that's their job. That's how they earn their
That's
living.
fine.
So
So
you
for real,
would.
you would.
I would date as someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're lying.
You're lying.
Why am I
I can see your eyes.
Yeah,
See?
you're lying.
I've just told you my perspective. Yes, I would date someone if I really like them that much. But I know they're doing something with their lives. If they're doing something with their lives, like they're not just sat being comfortable having nothing, then yes.
But Jesus didn't have a job. So anyway, Jesus didn't date, but like she didn't date because we want to be like Jesus. So
Wait, what?
Jesus didn't have a job.
Jesus didn't have a job.
Yes, he
have a
did.
job.
He was on mission. His entire life was a
But
mission.
well,
He wasn't
wait.
earning money.
He was not
but
financially
like,
stable.
yeah, but like he could multiply bread and
What makes you think the man
do
who's there without
whatever.
a job can't multiply bread?
Show me one.
Show you one what?
No, he's
Someone
making a
that can
joke.
multiply bread.
Okay. For me, I started dating. Okay, my wife. I started dating my wife when I didn't have a job.
He was broke. Just
I was
had
broke.
dreams.
Hey,
Even dreams, I don't think.
He had
So
words.
do you think
He had words.
it's being an exception to the rule?
Yep. I was literally gonna say I hate when we make exceptions the rule. Like there's people who can start from nothing, like the guy completely has nothing, and then they make it. But the
now-
reality, like that should not be the ideal that we're working, like everyone should be doing.
But the
Ideally, people should start from at least get financial stability, and then look for someone, look to invite someone else into your space.
But I think where I disagree with that is from the aspect of building together.
But you can build together with someone who, like, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't necessarily have to be CEO. He just needs to have a job. Like, when I'm talking about is financial stuff, like you have something coming in at the end of the month, at the end of every day. You have something coming in. And then
But
you
you
can
know-
say, all right, Sawa, you have that and I have this, and then we can build together. But you can't build without materials.
But that's not stability.
What do you mean?
Because you see, when you say
So
stability,
when I say stability, I mean you have something coming in at the end, like you can plan. Like even if you're getting like 200 bob at the end of every day, like you can plan with that.
So I understand
money.
where you're coming from. I think the problem I'm having is from the aspect of you are saying people, because you see, one of the examples I use, somebody who life has just happened and they have no income. And you've said, go get a job and then start dating. And I'm just like, that doesn't really make sense because this person, at some point, they might get a job while you're still dating them or start a business that will flourish or even fail. You never know what will happen. My point is, when you start, you can build together because the lady becomes...
So let me give you a different scenario. If I'm dating someone and they lose their job, would I leave that relationship? No.
Mm-hmm.
But that's life happening. But I'm just saying, I don't think when you have nothing, I feel like that's your focus is like,
Why wouldn't you leave them?
because life happens.
But this other one also, life happened.
So as I'm saying, like that's not the foundation in which you're starting the relationship with. I don't think that's where your focus should be. So for me, I'm thinking if you don't have an income, don't focus on, like your focus shouldn't be on dating. Your focus should be like, let me at least get this one thing right, and then I can invite other people into my space. Because even dating is a distraction.
Because you're not marrying them, you're dating.
What is the point of dating if it's not leading anywhere?
Yes, you're leading to marriage. So what I'd say is, by the time you're getting married, you should have figured out a way to get income, not even just specifically a job. Mm-hmm. So during the process of dating, you're building, you're getting to understand this person, and you also get to show them the pitfalls. So for example, they have all these dreams and ambitions you tell them, this thing, if you do it like this, it will work out like this. Or you tell them, don't do this. This is not making sense. Build it in a different way. I think that's the purpose of dating.
I agree.
I mean, let's just be friends.
I wouldn't value your opinion that much as a friend if you're telling me about my financial decision making. If you were dating, then I'd value it much more than if we were friends. That's what I believe.
Tracy?
Tracy?
I'm caught in the middle.
So
Like- What?
would you date financially stable or broke?
I would date someone that is financially stable.
Why? Why?
That's not even it. Like, what is that question? Would you date someone who's financially stable or someone who's broke? Like, who would be like, oh, I'd date someone who's broke?
No, because you're saying, like, if you meet someone, they're good looking, you like them, they're born again.
Broke
and they're
being
broke.
being financially stable being one of the key things that you consider when going into a relationship feels ingenuine.
Yeah.
Because
I would
a lot of things happen in life and so much chaos can happen that financially stable is.
But I
is
feel like
never
when you get
given.
into a relationship with a person, you don't even ask. Speaking for myself, I don't even ask how much you're earning. Like, just as long as I know you have a job.
So do you ask them if
No.
they have a job?
No, if they have a job, yeah. Like, what do you do?
No, if they tell you, I deliver stuff.
I do things.
I think I'd completely shut off. Like, even if I like them, maybe I'm just wired terribly. Just like, I don't even, you're no longer a prospect in
So
that sense.
if you ask someone and then they tell you something like, I'm a painter.
That's fine. You're doing
But
something.
you don't know. Maybe they're saying they just paint their house. They're not employed anywhere.
Yeah.
No, like, you would discuss like what do you do? Like, what do you do for a career? Like, what are you planning to be
Painting.
or whatever?
Is this an interview or is this a date?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, at that point, you're
I
not
feel
even
like
dating.
I
At that
mean,
point,
yeah,
you're just
But
getting to
you're
know the
going on
person.
dates, I'm assuming, to get to know them.
Not necessarily.
Okay, you can just meet them and you have conversations
Yeah.
like that.
Wait, but then I see Bato's point, because like the minute you start talking to someone and you feel like this thing is going to be like something bigger, you see yourself dating this person or even going into marriage, then why wouldn't you date someone that is doing something for themselves? Because like obviously you want someone that is in a way stable. They're making a name for themselves. They're doing something for themselves, because like at the long run, you don't want to be like seated with someone and there's nothing that he's doing, even if you're doing well for yourself, because it's like, now who's going to be the, I
So
see what I
It
did there,
reaches that
but
point. When it reaches that point, you're asking not about finances. You're asking, do they have a certain plan? Some people their plan can be the next 5 years. They might be getting nothing, but they're earning this. They're getting the skills. They're getting the knowledge. They're getting
But
the
I think
ideas. But there's no money coming
But
in.
the question
That's not
would be,
financially
how are you?
stable.
But how are you
that's-
sustaining yourself in those 5 years? Like, what are you,
You
like?
could be living with your parent. You could be
but-
you
but
could be living with your parent.
But-
You could be squatting with a relative. Basically, it's what we call the consolidation, trying to get as much information for the ahead.
You're basically leeching off of people.
Exactly. That can be it. That can be it. That's the
Perspective, I
bare bones
guess.
of it. But you are planning. You have that 5-year plan. It's just not bringing in money. So that when that 5 years comes, now you have the right knowledge and skills to move the way you want to move and get that kind of money.
if it
So
doesn't
would you wait those 5 years, or will you actually just go with the
Let's
plan
wait
that they
for the
have?
5 years.
Damn.
I agree.
Yeah.
Would you date?
Sorry.
It's okay. Ask.
No. I was just saying they have time for waiting.
Yeah, I'm like, would you date somebody who has a job and lives with their parents? I
How old-
speak to the ladies,
How old are
especially.
they?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how old are they?
You're around your age, like where the person you'd
Their
want to
respective
date.
ages.
Yeah.
My age.
Yes.
Damn.
And they have a job.
They have a job and I would.
Okay. But who?
Perspective. I'm old.
You're not old.
I'm older
You're just
than you.
older.
No, yeah, but
Just
like
older.
still, I feel so. The person that I would date, at my age living with their parents is going to be so tough. Like they would need to have a really good reason why they're living with their parents.
Their
Like,
parent
it's like,
lives in a mansion.
Because some people
It has,
do
it
that
has
to save
10
money.
rooms.
Yeah, exactly. Some people just save money because they don't need to, because then maybe you're planning for something, whatever. You could be living with your parents because you're planning to buy a house. I think the reason would be, like, the reason you're living with your parents needs to make sense.
What's a Christian perspective to this?
The Christian perspective is what we said. We're Christians, and that is our
That is,
perspective.
the money thing is a Christian perspective.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the foundation, like any, and I know this can be controversial. God put Adam to work before Eve ever came along. So you have to, I think you have to be found in purpose. You have to be doing something. There's no
Not
way.
earning money, doing something.
And then Eve showed up and
And
did
And
this
then,
thing.
and then spoil the plot.
So we see where we're
Well,
going with
then
this. We see where
collapse
we're
the
going with this,
empire.
Yeah.
Caused
my
collapse of the empire.
Wow.
The company fell down.
Yeah.
We were thrown out. It was acquisitioned.
So,
my gosh.
We went bankrupt.
wow, that
Morally
that
and
was-
financially.
That was a lot. Now, based on that, do you think I can start with Ivan going that way? In a relationship, age matters. Do you think it matters? He's feeling targeted.
No.
He
You need
knows
to
why.
specify. Because anyone younger than Ivan is illegal.
Hey, calm down. Let's get
No, Ivan is
calm
20.
down.
No, even
Yeah.
his age.
Oh my God.
I see what you did there.
Even his
Tracy, clean. Uh-huh.
Shh, guys, come on. Let me speak. Yeah.
Alright.
Do I think age matters?
Yes.
To an extent, I don't. I don't think it matters.
Wow.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. I don't think it matters because in terms of where the person is mentally, I think that's a big factor. Because someone can be 30 and they're still moving like a 19-year-old person. So you're saying, okay, this person is 30, they have a job, they have everything, but they're a child, literally in all senses. So would you still go for that person because you're closer to their age? So I don't believe that it matters. That to an extent, I don't believe it matters that much.
Cool. Mr. Madam
I think
Tracy.
it does.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't want to catch a case. Second of all,
Wait, we're talking about above 18.
Guys.
It
no,
had
I'm
to
just
be
saying.
said.
I'm
18
just
is the,
saying,
18
yeah.
is the
Yeah, it had to be
pass
said.
mark. Yeah.
So 18 is the pass mark.
Even that's
okay.
problematic.
Yeah.
So 21.
Like anyone Ivan's age, just say.
Dang.
But yeah, I feel
I've
like
just been thrown under the bus.
sorry.
Yes, I didn't want Ivan's
So
age.
crazy.
You have to be
sorry.
above 21, bro.
yeah, you have to be above 21. Even alcohol, you are supposed to be above 21.
18.
In
Anyway,
what world?
18.
In Germany, it's 15.
In America, okay.
in America, I'm
How
thinking
are we in
of
America?
In Kenya, it's 18.
because
Anyway,
Take
go
our
on.
women, you want to take our alcohol too.
Oh,
They will continue.
Tracy.
anyway, for me, why I'm saying it matters is because I don't know. I feel like younger people,
Guy.
they've not matured enough for me. Like your brain, you're moving mad. Your brain hasn't matured enough. I'm not saying you, Ivan.
No one
I'm
has
just
said
saying
me.
anyone your age and below, not below actually, like anyone 21, 22, anyone around that age, they've not matured enough for me. So yeah,
I love this. I love this.
Wow,
Yeah.
right. Bright Hill.
I can't date anyone younger.
Then you. What's the reason?
God, I feel like one day the Lord will make me swallow all my
And I will laugh.
And Q will play this clip at my
Oh
wedding.
my God, yes.
All of us will be there.
Oh,
we will
no.
be there.
No, I don't like. I've just never. So my history of like, I've never been attracted to anyone younger because I have younger brothers. You have to. So anyone younger,
That's a
I see them as
problematic.
like a child.
Tracy,
And that's kind of
Tracy looked
problematic.
at you in a weird way there, but anyway.
No, like yeah, anyone younger than me, I see them as like a child. And my brother is like 4 years younger than me, so I can't even compute that there's people like nah, bro,
All right. I'll come back and I'll have a
Below your
question
age.
for you.
that are dateable.
Eric?
I think for me, age matters, but I don't think it's their age that matters. I think it's my own. Because my own age will be, let's say, like the yardstick of which I measure what I can date. For me, personally, I think it's above 3 years and under 3 years. 3 there's a window of 3 years above and 3 years below. That's acceptable for me. And the age that I'm in right now. So my age matters because as I get older, that kind of mentality will shift. It will become, I can only date younger. It will reach a point, I can only date those ones at the same age. So I think my age matters.
Wait.
What?
Wait. You said there'll come a time when you can only date younger girls. Now you can date older,
Yeah.
but there'll come a time when you can only date younger.
Yeah, I know.
Please explain.
I know I might be catching misogynistic case here.
Yep. I'm about to
support
I'm
you.
about to throw hand.
100% I'll support you.
Yeah, I'm like, scientifically speaking, I want a family and kids. I don't want. I want kids. It's acceptable. Scientifically speaking, it's acceptable that when you want kids, you might want kids with a younger woman.
But you don't throw the mic, please.
Relax. It sounds. I don't know. Sarah had when she's old. It was Sarah.
Scientifically, you
She's speechless. Welcome to the part of the show where we make Bato speechless. Yet
I
again.
don't even know what to say. He said scientifically, you can only have kids with younger women.
No. Better kids with younger people.
Better kids.
Yay!
Can we just move on, please?
Scientifically speaking, genetics, brain
There's
development.
a higher chance of getting children with a younger woman, scientifically proven.
Yes.
That's
No,
what you're trying
because
to
the
say.
eggs are
better
younger.
children.
That's
said
the
no,
eggs are
children.
I'm
younger.
supporting the younger because like there's a high chance of getting children when they're younger.
Also
than
that.
when
Also
they're-
the
wrong with those
fertility.
that?
Yeah.
Also, nothing. Who said there's anything? No one has.
No,
has
explain
thrown
why
shade on
it would
old-
be better children. Okay.
The eggs are younger. That's what I mean.
Meaning
I
what?
feel like this is going south. I don't even know.
I said I'd support you. I support you.
No.
I'm even trying to remember my question
Yeah,
to Bacho.
let as Quentin is speaking. let us go while I'm saying.
Bacho. Okay, finish fast.
It's
Go
very
on.
scientific
Keep
that
doing it.
what? No,
Digging
no,
that grave.
digging what
Grave?
grave?
No one is dying.
As you grow older, your eggs get older. It's age.
It's maturing. It's not age. That's what they say. Yeah.
So, Bacho, I have a question for you. For you and Tracy, you have two people, for example. It's a theoretical, idealistic world. Two gentlemen. And one is younger than you, financially stable. Second one, older than you, but doesn't have a job. And you're attracted to both of them. Who would you go for?
That wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be attracted
No,
to
it's a
all the
question.
symptoms.
It's a question.
Anyway,
That's a lie. Tracy has
shut
got-
up. Shut up. So, how much younger? Like how many? How?
Yeah.
2 a year,
Oh, yeah. I would definitely go for the one that is younger than me.
2 years,
Still,
3.
no.
All right.
Wait, I actually would.
Okay, but
Give it a thought.
Two guys. One is older with no job. The other one is younger but has a job.
Oh my days.
Both not my type. No, I actually don't know.
no, give us an answer. Be assertive.
I genuinely don't know. Like, it would have to be how much I like them. Like, I don't know.
You like them a lot.
I don't know the younger guy thing. I just don't know. Like, I don't know how to.
Why do you think younger people are not, in terms of maturity, able to handle people who are older than
From
them?
my experience,
All right.
even a guy my age, it's just so exhausting. It's not that,
It's the
that
people
they,
you
it's
know.
not, it's
It's
not
yeah,
that-
it's the people
the
you
guys you
know.
know.
it's not that they're completely undateable. Of course, you could compromise on certain things, and people can work through certain things. It's not, and like it's not so far off that I would date someone younger. But I'm just saying, like it's not my ideal. So both those cases are not for me my ideal. Like I would struggle in both.
You.
I would struggle in both, but the one that seems more palatable is the younger guy with a job.
I feel like the age thing is an insecurity
All right.
for like myself.
Yes, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's completely
Okay.
on me and
Yeah,
not
it's
on
an
on the guy.
insecurity.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Okay. Like you're not adding anything? Like what type
No,
of
because
insecurity?
like if you're dating someone that is younger than you, it's just a huge insecurity. Like I wouldn't want to, even my friends, even if they ask me, oh, so you guys are, it's so embarrassing, man.
It's embarrassing.
You feel
to
like your
like
kid is snatching or
yes.
It's
something.
like you're with some you're with
You're
a
like
child.
Thank you.
You're with a
That's so
child.
Even you have been
true.
an embarrassment before.
That's true.
So it's more of a selfish reason.
Yeah.
And that's what. So for me,
I
even
don't
for me,
think
it's like
so.
it's just how I view like a younger guy. For me, is I see my brothers, and I'm just like I can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend me be no.
So I do understand that because
Yeah,
what happens is ideally ladies usually mature faster than guys. That's why you'll see if a guy is 28 marrying a lady who's like 21, 22, 23.
21.
Why you?
Yes. It's true. That's like a 7-year gap.
Anyway,
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah, usually it's like 7 years going down, right?
Yeah.
It's 5 to 7.
Because mostly us guys, we
take
never
our time.
really fully mature. Because
Yeah, that's true.
even
Can
in
look at
our
Ivan.
50s, we'll still be doing really silly things.
It's not silly.
That has nothing to do with maturity.
Yeah. Fun is fun.
Fun is fun.
But this is what I think. It's a subjective sort of thinking. Now, there are guys who I believe are able to actually step out and think differently depending on the circumstances that they're in. So they're forced to mature faster than, or rather at the same rate as most ladies, or even faster than most ladies. That's why you'd find most ladies would be doing silly things, partying, clubbing, all those things. And then within a year, they switch up, they're married, and they're homemakers. And then the guy who was the same age is just like, oh my God, this dude changed. What's happening? And the guy continues partying all the way into their 30s. So I think based on the world today, ladies are stepping up more in doing things. So as Bato is saying, they're becoming Bato. Financially stable, all these different things. And then guys are just out here.
Full stop.
Ivan.
Just
Yeah.
out here. Just out here.
Wilding.
So based on that, what do you think? Do you think the church is doing anything to correct that immaturity in guys?
No.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
I think there's been a concerted effort in recent past to really empower the women, to be fair, and like a lot of resources have gone to that. But there's almost like an epidemic now of like not even men actually don't even go to church. You know, a lot like most of the population in church is women. So even even spiritually, like you find women are doing better in every sense, economically, spiritually, and all of those other aspects. But is the church doing enough? I feel like the church could do more, but I don't know. But men also have to be willing, because like there's programs like that are present for men to do Man Enough, the banker, all of those things. But you find just men just don't go.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. A lot of men have done Man Enough, for example, which is Man Enough is more of it's a program by Transformations that they take men through, I don't know how many weeks.
10 weeks, I
10
think.
weeks 10 weeks program, teaching them about how to be men and all that. It's a great program. I actually worked in that company for some time. The problem that I'm having is I've heard stories of men who've gone through Man Enough and then go out and start wilding or continue wilding.
Like a short break.
Because so we make that's another thing. I'm gonna phrase it. I'm gonna butcher it, but someone said that to me. We make programs for discipleship, and then people don't know how to carry on the discipleship after the program is done. That's the problem. So people disciple people. Programs don't disciple people. So it needs to continue further than the 10 weeks. It needs to be like, I think the 10 weeks is supposed to build community. Kind of like when you do Mizizi, and then they carry on to be your life group. So Man Enough then should be the same. Like you do the 10 weeks and then these people become your community of men, and then you go do life with them after that. Like it doesn't stop.
All right. Ivan, anything to say?
About the church trying.
Yeah.
Before I get there, I would just like to say getting into programs for a guy is very hard. It has to do a lot with humility, which most men innately have to learn. They don't know it innately, they have to learn it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's an unspoken societal pressure when it comes to men being in church and actually being serious in church.
Yeah.
Like if a guy comes to church and they're coming to look for women,
Like
they'll
you.
have a great time.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I was meant to think that.
Yeah. They will have a great time because their goal is not to find God and to grow their faith. So them, they have one initial goal and that's it. For a guy who comes and actually wants to look for God and all these things, when they're in church, they'll feel safe. They'll feel like this is a place I belong and everything. When they get out to the world, which is where they spend like 80% of their time, they'll get that pressure of why you not being a man. You get. So on that note, I feel like that's why most men wouldn't go for such programs unless it's that they're really convinced or they really want to change their life.
Do you think, this is for everyone, responding to that, the society or the world of today allows men, whether in relationships or single, to be vulnerable? Like, can a dude be vulnerable without...
Vulnerable to who?
like to the world?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's highly improbable that we live in such a environment, because you're either shamed for it,
Yeah.
if it's you're vulnerable to the wrong people, or you are turned into there's a way it becomes, I don't know, you can become a poster for it. While you're just trying to be vulnerable about things, you kind of become a poster, and it becomes a whole movement around it, rather than just being about the things that you're vulnerable about. So it kind of, there's no real vulnerability available. There's no space for it. There's a very huge misunderstanding of what a man is. So without that kind of basis there, without that kind of examples to live with, vulnerability is left for your room at 3 a.m. For those ones who know, with sad boy music, or with, if you're in a relationship with the girl that you're with, if they have a savior
I have a
complex,
question
Or female
on
friends,
that.
right?
or female friends, yeah.
And probably to Bato, sorry to cut you short, to Bato and Tracy. If you're dating, how would you feel if your dude started crying? Look at Tracy already laughing.
Tracy laughed.
Do you want Tracy go first?
Tracy has already answered.
Yeah,
She's
I
laughed.
want
That's her answer.
I want to hear
No,
Tracy's
like it's
answer
a funny
first.
question.
Wow. It's fine.
Oh my days.
No, not in that sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Men's tears
I
are
don't know, I
funny,
can't
is
even
what
defend
Tracy is
myself,
saying.
man.
Men's tears are funny.
Yes.
Una cry, why?
Wait, are you asking me
Yeah.
about who?
I'm asking
Both
both,
of you.
Both of us. But I want you to go first.
No. Wow. I'm really not going to like throw myself under the bus, but I feel like it's okay.
Speak your truth.
Stop
Not
being
the
politically
one
correct.
She says that.
your
She says that.
Yeah,
She's laughing.
Yeah,
Speak your
please.
truth.
It's raw and fearless. So
Speak your truth.
Wow. So the first time, let me just be honest. The first time I saw a guy cry, like it was it a genuine? Yeah, I feel like it was. For him, it was a genuine reason. But then for me, I'm sorry, but I laughed.
You laughed.
Yeah, I laughed. Because, like, I don't know. It was very weird for him to cry in front of me because, like, we can just talk. Why are you crying? I don't know.
So,
It's fair. It's fair. It's
But
fair. It's
that
fair.
was 5 years ago. I'm sorry.
fair,
That
it's
I'm
fair.
a changed person. So
tears
I
are for
won't,
Telemundo.
I won't laugh anymore. So
All right.
I am the opposite. I find it deeply attractive if a guy is vulnerable.
what?
That's problematic.
I find-
also.
That
I
is
feel like
quite
that's
problematic.
That's quite
So
problematic.
there's a way you can be vulnerable and masculine at the same time. So it's not
That
necessarily
you have
that.
to, do you have to be masculine to be vulnerable?
Wait,
what do you
wait.
mean vulnerable and masculine at the same time?
We're about to
Can-
learn more about men from a
Why should I
woman.
be
I'm so
performative
excited.
masculinity so
I'm
that
so
I can be
excited.
vulnerable? What do you mean?
Woman's explaining that.
Jesus.
I was gonna say. So from Tracy's perspective, it's like it almost.
Vulnerability has gender
Vulner-
now. Jesus. What do you mean vulnerable and masculine?
Are you gonna let me
No,
finish
okay,
speaking?
chill. What do you mean? Okay, no.
I was
you can't.
gonna say, there's a way vulnerability is attached to femininity. Like you almost see like a guy crying. It's like, why you? People say that too. Like, why are you acting like a girl? Like, why are you processing it that way? Like, why are you breaking down and crying? But I'm saying there's a way someone can still like you can still have deep respect for a person while they're vulnerable. Like because it doesn't take away from who they are as a man. That's what I meant.
If you saw me crying, wouldn't that change how you look at me?
No.
It depends. Like why? Like I would want to know why are you crying, because maybe it's something like really genuine or something that is really close to your heart. Like if something happened to Avi and then you started crying, like I would understand. But then there's
Avi is my son.
I'm really selling myself out here. But
Ma'am,
Go
so
ahead.
as I was saying, I find it attractive if a guy is vulnerable. So if you're
Attractive is such a.
vulnerable with me, vulnerable with everybody else, there's a bit of a problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
okay, yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes
So
sense.
it's like, yeah, I just like for me, it's a realness. Like there's a way you're.
you
I
can
don't
also
know.
be vulnerable and not cry.
I don't
Like
mind crying.
I feel like
Emotions
for
are
me it
emotions,
genuinely
brother.
makes
there's people who
makes
get
me
happy
really-
and cry as well.
yeah, there's that, but you can be vulnerable, like
Tears are
extremely vulnerable and not cry. Because for me, Ivan, I'd feel like really uncomfortable. I'm being really honest.
It's not
I'd
about
feel
you, it's about
really
them.
I know, but okay, yeah. Maybe it's because I don't know how to comfort someone. Like I wouldn't know what to say. So it's like, okay, so now what am I supposed to do?
So for me, like that
Yeah, Soros players.
that awkwardness. For me, like in my head, I see a deeper level of like relation. Like if we can get past this awkwardness, then like our relationship is that much deeper now.
Okay.
They're just seeing tears, and I'm like, this is the opportunity to get vulnerable and deeper with you. Yeah. It feels like a game. I'm sorry, but
No, it's not being vulnerable for the sake of being vulnerable. It's
Yeah.
like it's not necessarily like also vulnerability is not as easy to achieve. So it's not necessarily a daily occurrence. It's not like this guy's crying over everything.
people have mental
Yes.
illnesses. People can cry every day.
That's true.
It's very
Cry in
true.
your
We're talking about
room.
stable humans,
No.
right? Like people who
Okay, damn.
no, I just mean people who are like okay.
No.
Well, no one is. To be
No
fair,
one is okay.
No one is okay. But like, yeah, I just mean
Point to
like
me
it's
at
not
an okay man,
necessarily.
and I will laugh.
And even if they're crying every single day, maybe that's the season that they're in. And then they'll get past that season. Hopefully, they'll get past that season, and then it's a different because life happens, guys. Like I feel like I don't know. I think I've seen a different kind of like amount of like life happening where sometimes I see how it's possible for someone to be crying every single day over the same issue, but at the same time, like it's a season. It doesn't necessarily happen every single like it won't happen for the rest of their lives. There's healing as well as they're being vulnerable.
All right. I think I have a hot take based on that. It's not really even a hot take. It's more of for men when it comes to crying, especially in relationships. I'd say this is my subjective view. It's based on if there's a loss, like what Tracy was saying, or if it has to be something like really.
Bro, like for example, you're listening to like worship music. Is that far-fetched to find you crying?
No, I would find that attractive.
See?
Yeah, that's different.
Damn,
We're
what?
talking about. I think we're talking about crying in the. But we're talking
That's
about crying.
vulnerability
Yes,
as
in
well.
the sense of like in the relationship sense where I'm overwhelmed by emotions, so I start crying. You get. I find that to be dangerous.
Explain.
Why? Because men are built different from women.
Yes.
You did not need to act it out, man.
Wow. Even emotionally. So let me use a physical example. I believe women should never fight men because men are very, what's the word? They can, once you, if you've ever been in a fight,
Our brains are wired differently.
yes,
To respond to
somebody
violence.
will be hitting you, you won't feel it. You'll keep going, no matter how big that person is. You'll feel it later. So we're built, that's why I'm saying men should never fight women. Because a man will hit a woman, and it's not like just joking. We're talking about seriously, and then the woman would be shocked about that. So coming back to what I'm talking about is, when it comes to relationships, we are built to take in more. So we're able to absorb in more punches in terms of emotionally than what a lady or a woman would. If, let's say, if Ivan is dating someone, and then Ivan, let's say even something crazy has happened, and Ivan is crying every single day, that lady will have a different outlook
Sorry, someone's laughing behind the camera. It's so funny.
in terms of protection in relation to Ivan. So the lady will now get into a space of, it's like, now I need to protect this person. So there'll be a change in role.
A subconscious change.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
So a dude, sometimes things happen and you feel like, yo, hey, I want to cry, but you have to hold on, hold strong. The reason why is because you are able to take in more punches than what a lady would take in. So I'm not saying certain things can't lead you to there. It's now your ability as now a dude to be able to control that, which I feel like that's why I'm like, dudes shouldn't watch this K-pop, Telemundo, soap operas kind of things. From the point of, a lot of those guys cry a lot.
I love it.
You get? And what happens, it conditions you. Conditions you. So you feel like, I'm not saying that crying is bad.
But
I'm
I think
not
it's also a
saying-
cultural thing. So in our African context, I feel like it's very different. And then,
But that's how you see why we have in the West, we have a lot of issues. We have identity issues.
That's true.
I'm talking about, no one's talking about the West. I'm talking about K-dramas.
Also the East. So the East.
They have issues with sexuality and all. Go to
Korea.
Thailand.
Even South Korea.
You can't tell. You get. So that's my point. In a relationship, there are rules to it. And different people are able to take on different types of punches. So as a dude, you should be able to take in more, not cry, as compared to a lady.
I don't even think a guy crying is the same way I cry. Do you understand? Like when I have a breakdown, it's like a proper like meltdown. But a guy would not have a similar type of meltdown where like it's like they're like weeping loudly or like
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm saying even just the normal crying, you should be able to have a bigger tank plus a reserve tank. To
I
have
think
an
that's
underground
unhealthy. Q, I think that's a bit unhealthy.
Because this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should not.
Because you're saying suppress your feelings
It's not
because you
suppress,
can take in more
manage. Manage, not suppress.
Yeah, but like even when you
And
manage
even sometimes
things,
you need to suppress. You should never just act on all your emotions.
no, I agree with you. Some feelings should be suppressed for sure.
All.
Don't be stoic. That's not what we're saying. Well, I think it's like I just mean there's certain situations that definitely weren't like if someone wouldn't cry, I'd be like
Example.
death.
Yes, that one is fine. That's why I said loss. Loss, it's totally okay.
When
What?
you're walking down the aisle.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
if I'm
Don't
walking
you-
down the
don't-
aisle,
don't
you
bring that
better
one up.
How to be
cry.
crying.
Don't-
If you're
don't
not
bring that
crying,
up.
I walk
Yeah.
out. I walk out and I
That's
take two.
subjective.
Take two.
Subjective.
No, because
See who's
even
agreeing.
that's like even something. Yeah, for example, a proposal. Like if he
He's
sheds.
the one proposing.
he
Why would he
sheds-
go on his knees and cry from
Because
there?
you're happy I said
no,
yes.
no, not even that. He's making his like long drawn out speech about why he wants to marry me.
Wait.
Yeah.
A couple of tears, dude. Like, yeah, that would be awesome.
I
So
don't use this word loosely, but fetish is something that needs to be addressed here. What do you mean?
But
It's
to
not
continue
fetish.
before we get to like
Yeah,
this,
let's
I'm about to mute.
I'm saying there's certain situations that warrant like someone crying, and it's not weird at all. Like it's not like I'm like, this guy needs therapy.
Yeah. I'd say that's what I'm saying. It's subjective. Like, and I'm not saying that one you need to suppress. I'm talking about you are going through very heavy emotions, and then you're constantly crying, or there are things. So, like for example,
What if they're crying in private? Is that still even that's wrong?
in private, okay, I'd say
That's why 3 a.m. is
like figure out your things. You can do that in private.
So in your definition, that's part of management. So
Yes.
like you
yes,
suppress it until like a later time.
yes.
Schedule.
You schedule your cries.
Yeah, you
It's like,
schedule
oh,
it till
10,
like-
10 p.m.
It's called the 15 minutes of grief.
Cause it's as dudes we are called upon to be stronger, whether we like it or not.
Be the anchor, even
Yeah.
if you want to or not.
So we have to be able to manage those things, especially in difficult situations where you're like, all right, things will be fine. Because if I start crying, you are crying, we're all crying. Who will tell us that
Crying
things will be?
family.
I'm crying and I'm
I
telling
think
you
it's
things
sad
will be
because
okay.
even for when I grew up, I don't think I ever saw my dad cry until like maybe when my mom passed away.
Wait,
But that's not
no.
like, I don't think it teaches. So for example, like my younger brother, who we all grew up in the same house, not seeing my dad cry, and then he's grown up with like three girls who were very hormonal at the time.
At which point did
adolescents.
you want him to cry, for example?
Why would you want him to cry?
I don't know. Maybe like even happy times. Like I don't know. Like
Wait,
even
yeah.
like
People cry.
Tears of joy or like
Yes.
that,
You
that
just
was,
tears.
that's not crying, that's
can
laughing.
laugh, yeah, you
I
can
can laugh.
laugh
I
and then
laugh
start
until I cry.
tearing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, and not even that, like a deep, like emotional moment. It doesn't necessarily have
What
to
does
be
that
some
deep
like
emotional moment mean?
my younger siblings being born.
What?
Like I'm saying, it just shows good emotional.
get it 'cause I'm
Like there's elements of emotions that are.
But you
good.
know, the thing is, probably, like, you're the first one. The firstborn, probably he cried when that happened. There's a possibility.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying modeling it done well.
You know, by the time you get to like your third child, you'll be crying all the time.
It's still
Another one.
I don't think you understand my point,
Yeah.
Q. I'm saying like people need to like even older men need to model how to handle emotions, like not in a manner that's like you're not going to have it together all the time. But then how do you have like a breakdown, but you're doing it well? Do you understand my point? Like it needs to be something that's taught culturally. Like you see them handle situations like this. So it makes it okay for the younger generation to also do it, but manage it well. Because now we have the extreme of like men being complete sissies, and then like, or either that or like the what is it called? Is it the red pill community?
Red
like
pill.
there's a complete
The
like no
Andrews.
emotions, Andrew Tate and all of that.
I'm not talking about.
So I'm saying now
Ivan's
because
role
people
model.
Ivan's role
because
model.
people haven't seen it done well. There's now the extremes.
So what I'm talking about is having that balance. The balance of knowing that as the leader of my family or somebody, as the person who's leading a relationship, having the mental stability, since you like stability, mental stability to know that this is happening right now. This is what I'm feeling, but let me hold back. I shall get to process it in a later time. Yeah. You get? So that's what I'm saying. Because
You're like, my emotions are not the priority
Yeah.
right now. Something else is. So how are they doing? How are they coping? Well, what are the plans that need to be made? Everything can be figured out later.
Exactly, and I feel like the point to what Bato was saying about a father being a role model to the sons is him. He never had a time to think about his emotions. He never got to a point in his life where he was like, oh, I need to stop and think about my emotions. I'm sure when he was growing up, all he needed was a job, a wife, taking care of the kids. Like there was always something. So he never knew how to handle it. So for him to take it, pass it down, he can't, because even him, he does not do that. which is an issue because now the gap is guys have a lot of free time and they're thinking about
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's not. It's because they haven't seen it done.
Yeah, but now because of that, they go to the extremes, like you were saying, of they act like women.
Yeah.
Sissies.
They act like women,
Sissies.
and the other ones act like stoics, which I don't know. The balance is, I don't know how to get to that point of balance.
Do we even know what that looks like?
I think it's just being able to verbally explain your emotions after a while, obviously. Like
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
you compartmentalize it, focus on what is happening, and then now speak about it later. Because the reason why we get overwhelmed is because everything is coming together and we are refusing to, our body cannot handle it anymore.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
just, it comes out in tears. So for you to be able to compartmentalize it and then speak about it later, it would never pile up in the long run. That's what I think.
All right. The next thing that I want to talk about is, does everybody believe in forgiveness? Raise your hand if you believe in forgiveness.
So about to talk about cheating.
I know.
Thank you, Eddie. So that's the question. Do you think cheating should be forgiven or not in a relationship or also in a marriage? Hey, you should see the stairs. Tracy? Oh, wait, Ivan is ready. Ivan, let's start with
Ivan,
Ivan.
start with you. Ivan always has an answer.
So being cheated on is unforgivable. Me cheating should be forgivable. I'm kidding.
You're not.
No, yeah.
No, guys, I am. anyways, on a serious note, I think for marriage there are a lot of implications, and it gets really messy and dirty, and like it's So for that one, I don't know. I can take the easy way out and say if there are kids, maybe either tough it out because the resulting children are going to have a lot of problems heavily related to that thing.
Yeah.
That's the easy way out. But since I'm not married, that's not my take, and I have no take on marriage. On relationships, I think cheating is non-negotiable. Like there's no way you can cheat, and I think the word forgiveness is being used wrong because you can forgive them for cheating, but you're like, I can't let that happen to me again, so this is not going to work. But I forgive you, but out of my life.
All right.
That's what I think.
Tracy?
I'm not going to use the word forgivable,
Yeah.
but then all I'll say is the minute you cheat or you're cheated on, just leave that person. Like there's nothing else to talk about. Me, I'm not going to talk about how it happened, why it happened. Me, I don't care. Like the minute it happens, it has happened. That's it.
That's both for relationships and in marriage.
I don't want to talk about marriage because I don't know. Like I'm not married, so I don't know.
Wait, you can't use that. Before you continue, it's like saying, I can't talk about girls because I'm not a girl. Like you can't use that. You get,
that's
we talk
true.
about many things, yet you're not those things. You don't need to be a specialist to talk about something. You can give your opinion. It's a subjective kind of thing.
So let me just say this. If you're married and you cheat, my answer is the same. Like, I don't think I'm going to like sit there and listen to what you have to say. Because obviously when you're cheating, you had reasons. And to me, those reasons don't make sense. Me, I don't want to listen to whatever you have to say after. If it's done, it's done.
All right.
Yeah.
Madam Bato.
I hate that question so much. I used to have a very strong stance on cheating as well. For me, that's a deal breaker, especially when dating. Like we're not having a conversation. In marriage, it's like it's a bit more complicated because there's a lot of factors involved. But is it forgivable? Anything is forgivable. The Lord, man, like it's just one of those things. If the Lord forgave us for all of those other things, who are we to withhold forgiveness from other people? Forgiveness is fine, but reconciliation is a different case altogether. I think I don't know, it would have, I don't even know, like it would be very, very, very difficult to consider staying with a person who's cheated. Because when the trust is broken, then how do you rebuild that trust again? Like, what's to say you won't do it again? And also the thought of you hating me so much that you would want to hurt me in that way, I can't compute it. Like, I think you have to hate someone to cheat on them, because I don't understand why you would want to inflict that level of pain and mistrust and doubt. Like, I don't know why you would want to bring that to your relationship. I feel like you have to be, I don't know. I am like, it would take heaven to reconcile that relationship.
Ivan is burning.
I'm not saying it's impossible to reconcile a relationship where someone's cheated, but it would take a lot. It would take a lot of years of rebuilding.
I feel like before I go to Eric, Ivan is burning with something.
She spoke about hate. No, first let me agree. In terms of trust, building that trust is going to be really hard, almost impossible, almost. But in terms of hate, I feel like we'd have to go back to the core issue, which is cheating, and the perspective that each gender or man or woman would take from that position of cheating. Now, we're not justifying it. I'm not personally, but logically speaking, for a guy to cheat, I would say that the reasoning it wouldn't be as emotionally led as a woman in terms of how they take it. Because, like you said, you like a guy who likes crying. Like, that's what helps you sleep at night. But
Damn.
An attack.
Damn.
And for you,
I deserve that. That's fine.
yeah.
That's
And for you to get to a point where you'd think about cheating on your spouse or partner, it would be this other person has connected with you on such an emotional level that for you it's like, it's him. There's no one else in this world. It's him. For a guy, it could literally just be, okay, no, again, I'm not justifying this, but it could just be
The opportunity presented itself.
No. That's not what I'm saying. It could be like the wife has been nagging him about washing dishes for like a month, and really he's just tired. And there's
I was gonna look just directly to the camera and then got confused about which camera to look into.
Probably
the
that
red
one.
Oh, that one. Yeah, but and obviously, like, there's another person, a woman, assistant, or not assistant, so the secretary. You know, the generic
Hold
thing.
your mic. Like this.
It's the generic secretary thing, who's there, and all they do is, like, they don't ask him for anything. They don't. They're, what do I say? They're just a whole other person who's not their nagging wife in this case of marriage. Like, for them, it's a sense of freedom, I would say, for a guy, because it's like they're not feeling shackled, but they feel.
So, you see that thoughtlessness of
Thoughtlessness.
Yes, like not considering the fact that this could really wound this person that I claim to love is what I call hate. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you can be that inconsiderate. Like, because it's not. I don't even like.
For me, that's what I'm saying. Like, you say hate, and the reason I'm not using hate for the side of the guys, for the women, may think it's hate. There's no way a woman is cheating on me and she's saying I didn't love him. That's a lie. He connected with you emotionally. That's the only way you would have agreed in any remote way to do it. For a guy, they would just say, okay, I'm not condoning this, but they would just say anything, and their reasoning would be exactly what they say. For a woman, they would be very elaborate about it and, like, say, I don't know, but it would be an emotional thing for a woman. But for a guy, it would literally just be what I've told you, like washing dishes, like a
But
nagging
listen,
thing.
I don't. Does that make it less?
It does not, but it does not come from a place of hate. That's what I'd say. Because usually when someone cheats, the first thing they want to do, like, they're very remorseful about it. Some of them. It's always that feeling of, if they told you, then they're remorseful about it. I believe that.
Also,
you
me,
know.
that also bothers
you
me.
know
I'm like,
about
also,
it.
why are you telling me? Why are you telling me? Like, if someone tells me they cheated, they need to explain why they're telling me that they cheated.
Again, that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking from a guy's perspective. You women can speak for yourselves. But if it wasn't an attack. But I'm just saying, if that was ever to happen, in terms of, like, me personally, if I was to do that, I'd speak about it because I'd be remorseful about it. Because at the end of the day, you're here spending time with this sense of freedom that you call one night stand or a fling. but you know, like this other person you're with, you committed either your life or just a few good weeks or
1 month.
months. 1 month. He's committed to at that moment. You'd feel like this person, like they know me as a person and I connect with them more than this other one on the guy's side. That's how it is. So for a guy to come back and say like, this is what I did, they're remorseful because they know it was a mistake. Yes, they did it. Yes, you can forgive them. You cannot forgive them. Reconcile or not, doesn't matter. But on their side, it's something that has eaten them up to a point where they say it. If they don't tell you, then they're not remorseful. That's what I think.
Let me just say this. I don't think cheating is a mistake. What you just said, I don't think it's a mistake.
From
I
the
think
guy's
it's a-
side.
And some people tell
no,
you
man.
to like because the guilt is killing them, not necessarily because. So
Yeah.
some people, for them, they're remorseful, and because they know they won't do it again, so they just don't say.
Because you won't find out. But
Yeah, they're
women
like,
always do find out. Anyway,
that's
so.
true.
Eric has contemplated. He has cooked and cooked.
Used against you.
The
And
problem
cooked.
is, I've been running what's it
And
called
cooked.
situations in my head to see will I really. I think for me it reaches a point. There are so many things to consider. How did he find out they cheated? Which kind of cheating was it? Because I think for me, there are two. Personally, there are two. There's the physical, and then there's the emotional cheating. Emotional. Okay, let me see. Let me break it down there. So in a relationship, if it's cheating, all is forgivable. In my perspective, all is forgivable. It's the steps that I take after that are that differ. In a relationship, if it's physical, I'm sorry, that's just ending there, because that's basic trust completely cut off. But if it's emotional, that for me is worth a conversation, because emotional cheating is kind of the idea that you are not you are not missing anything physically. There's something that I am not feeling emotionally for you, and that can be a conversation that to be had on what I can step up on or what they can step up on, or the kind of avenues that can be had, or conversations that can be had, or channels of conversations that can be had, so that that kind of can be addressed. When it comes to marriage, I feel like it's a whole different ball game, because that's a commitment you've made before God. That's the place where two have become one. So it becomes any aggression they've done to them, the aggression they've done to you. Because in a relationship, that's them. That's on them. You have not tied yourself to them the way you have done in marriage. So when it comes to marriage, when it comes to physical, that's like serious therapy. I feel like it's forgivable. Like, remember, all of it is forgivable, but like serious therapy and serious going before God to find out what's like the next step. Because for me, that's not when you cheat in a marriage physically, you're cheating with me, because I'm with you while you're doing that. You're cheating with me. And that's just weird to begin with. And second, that's just a gross misconduct of me and my soul, basically. But when it comes to emotion again, also emotional in marriage, also a kind of conversation. Because at that point, there must be something lacking between us that has not been addressed within the marriage, that a foundational something that's not there. So we go back to the roots and find out what are something that we missed. That's what I've cooked.
And I think
That's so interesting, because I think for girls, maybe Tracy, you have a different opinion. I think emotional cheating is a big one.
yes, because
I agree.
that's what I was actually gonna ask next in terms of what do you like consider cheating? Is it just the physical or the emotional part? And if it's emotional, do you think that can also be forgiven and you move on from it? Whether in relationships, like in terms of before you get married and after you're married.
Man, emotional is a big one, because it takes time to build an emotional connection with someone. And also, if I'm in a relationship with you, first of all, where are you getting the time to build an emotional connection with someone else? If you're
Co-workers.
Your girl best
Secretaries.
friend.
what is it
best
called? What are they called at
friend.
the office?
Work
wives.
husbands and work wives.
hate that so much because I see. Never mind.
Oh, you see
People are
it
gonna
in your
watch
workplace.
watch this video.
you know where you work. I would
Oops,
say.
know where you are.
Sorry. So yeah, I've just lost my train of thought because now I'm just so
Emotional
self-conscious.
cheating.
You would
Yeah,
be
I think
fine.
emotional cheating is a really big one. It takes time to build, and you can't just snap out of it. Even if they feel bad, there's still feelings that are lingering there. Physical attraction, I don't know, maybe society has conditioned us to think just men are, I don't know, anything in a skirt is possible.
Not anything. Come on. People have standards.
Don't
I didn't
lie.
say Ivan,
Yeah,
but people
don't
have.
lie.
I'm sorry for violating. I'm sorry.
You know, Eric wears skirts sometimes.
So,
You do.
I'm joking.
what did you say?
Eric wears
He owns them, he doesn't wear them.
Oh my God, Q. So,
I say that under confidence. I said those things under confidence, guys.
society has
Sorry.
conditioned women
Yeah.
to think that men don't really, there's not a lot of emotion that goes into their physical connection with a person for men. But for women, it is like there's, before you get to the physical aspect, there's the emotional aspect first. That has to be the whatever. But for a guy to get emotionally attached to someone else, I feel like that would wound me in a way that, well, I feel like it would wound me just as much as the physical one.
So you wouldn't forgive them, or rather, you wouldn't continue being in that relationship.
If it's we're not married.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm not staying.
Okay. If you're married,
I release you. Go have
If you're
fun with the
married.
other person. Huh?
if you're married,
If we're married, like there's so much that's complicated when it comes to a marriage. Like the
I like
exit,
how Batu fumbles.
the exit clause is so like it's just dude, like I don't know. Because I remember I always said like if it's cheating, I'm out. And I remember having a conversation with Pastor James about this, and he said because he was saying when you say for better for worse, what's
For
the
us.
caveat?
Yeah.
For
Like
us,
what's
it's
the
cheating.
caveat? Like so I'm like because there's no caveat, I committed to staying with this person. I would want to honor that. But it would be so difficult. I think there would be would definitely need a period of separation. Like there's those things that I'm just like it's not as instantaneous. Yeah.
All right. Ivan, you have something
I
before?
was just going to ask, would the separation help or make it worse for your husband to be left alone when he still has those emotions?
I'm not a child.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm with Bato on. I don't know if I'm with Bato. Okay, this is my take. With the relationships part, I'd say if he cheats physically, emotionally, like you're not tied. Just leave. Just go. When you're married, so let me talk to the dudes, especially. I'm like the Bible gives a very interesting instruction to the husbands, where it says, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loves the church." I'm like, that's a very heavy statement in the sense that the church keeps on cheating on Christ. Think about it. We're always doing weird stuff. And
The
Christ,
church is just out here doing the most.
yes, and Christ keeps on accepting the church over and over again. I'm not saying that if your wife is cheating, keep accepting her over and over again.
Unless you're Hosea.
You get, yeah. Hey, Hosea is the one who's told to marry a prostitute.
That wasn't
He can't hear you.
Mike, my dude.
That wasn't cheating.
Wow, that's still cheating if you're married to someone. Anyway, so to
She
the
was a hoe
dudes,
before.
I'm like, we are called to such a difficult task of if this was to happen, you need to understand why. And I say a big percentage of cheating, whether chicks or dudes, is because of there's something that went wrong somewhere in the relationship. Can be the physical part, can be the emotional part. Usually it's the emotional part that leads to the physical. So this person has messed up in doing whatever they're doing, but also you, the person who's not cheated, you messed up in certain parts. So agreeing to admit that you are lacking in certain things and trying to figure out how do we move on from there becomes the fundamental, even without having kids. Because I think people usually say, oh, for the kids, let's stay for the kids. I don't feel, even if you don't have kids, because now I'm just like, if a couple decides they're not having kids and then somebody cheats, so they can just go, I'm like, nope. We go back to based on me, this is my subjective thinking. I believe that it's difficult. The trust will take a long time to be rebuilt, but it's possible. It's a hard road. Don't go down that road, but if it was to happen, that's a road that we are called to, especially, I'm talking to men, but it's with both sides. Unless, I'm like, there is physical violence or things like that. You get like those crazy things. But if you feel like you can't handle that, I'm like, the Bible allows you. You can decide to, go. But God hates divorce. But God knows, because of our heart, and we are always sinful, we have a heart of stone. God allows that to happen, not because He wants it to happen, but because of for our sake. So that's what I believe. Ivan was looking like he had a hot take before.
No. I was just speaking about the having kids and marriage thing. You just said it was your subjective opinions. I decided not to fight.
Fight.
Don't attack the family man.
Do it.
Don't attack the family man.
Do it.
What? No, it's just the excuse for having kids. I feel like it has bigger implications than, like, if you stay together because of the kids, I feel like that has bigger implications. Because now the idea is we don't need to reconcile. So the trust that's broken, it's broken.
Yeah.
Can leave us a couple of best friends.
Yeah.
I usually believe this is the thing. Kids are part of the family, but not part of the marriage.
I agree.
Yeah. So why should we,
Could you please explain that a bit?
You didn't marry your kids, you're married to your wife.
But marriage produces children.
Yes, but they're not part of the marriage. They're part of the family. The kids join the family. They don't join the marriage. The marriage is between two people, the husband and the wife, not the husband, wife, and kids. So if they're joining the family. So the marriage is a family,
Some
right?
people propose nowadays to.
A bit weird.
Too?
Yeah, you've seen that.
to
Yeah,
kids.
some people propose to kids
So
too.
that's-
I
As they
don't-
propose to like the
commitment.
partner, they propose to the children as well.
Okay, that's like a pagan tradition. Me, I'm talking about in the sense of it's true.
Like all these
God
heathens.
damn.
It's true. I'm like, me, I'm talking about from a Christian perspective. Marriage is you have a man and a wife. They come together. That's why even consummating. Do you consummate with that kid? No, that's even illegal.
I would hope they don't. I would really hope.
You get, because it's
Terrible.
once you consummate, that's when you become one. You get. So they can't be part of the marriage. Even if you propose, even if you do what, they're still not part of the marriage. So the marriage and the family are two distinct things. So the marriage is part of the family, right? So now the kids, when they come in, they're not joining the marriage. They're joining the family. So if you're saying you're staying for the kids, those are two different institutions.
So you can leave the kids.
What?
Leave them kids. Be a deadbeat. Create
Yeah.
stronger men.
So I have one more question for people. This one is especially it's for relationships. How far is too far in a relationship?
What do you mean how far is too far?
Everyone wants to. Is it holding hands, kissing, hugging? How far is too far?
If she stares
How-
into
what do
my
you mean
eyes,
how
that's
far
too
is too
far.
far?
Yeah, like there are people who say, as long as the penetration has not happened, that's okay.
Everything is
let's
free
not
game.
get technical about it. Let's
So
get
that's the
technical
question.
about it.
Especially from how far is too far? From a
Because
Christian
when
perspective.
they're different. Now let's not get technical about it. I know this is raw and
Stop,
fearless, but
stop.
Yeah,
let's,
we're not
let's,
getting
let's keep that
technical, yes.
monetization.
How far is too
Stop.
far?
How far is too far?
Batu, how far is too far?
Oh my god.
Actually, yeah, but
Batu wants to hide under
I do.
the.
I hate talking about stuff like this. I don't know why, but I just really don't.
You're dating this financially stable guy who's like
Who
3
cries.
years older than you, cries, plans dates and everything. So how
And
far
he's
is
older
too
than
far?
you.
How far is too far? I'm all for the biblical
Which
stance
is?
on this one. I feel like anything that stirs up lust or anything that stirs up lust.
Well, you see, that's
Should be avoided.
I don't
Have you met
accept.
men?
Wait,
What do you mean
wait.
stirs up? Do
I
you know
don't.
how easy it
That's
is to
a
stir up
politically
lust?
correct statement.
Do you know how it is to
Because the
stir up
question is,
lust? Jesus.
somebody can say, because Tracy, what are you
met men.
wearing? Whatever Tracy is wearing, if she removes it and you see a
I can
shoulder,
talk a jacket on the shoulder
it.
that stirs up lust.
you get my point. So you have to be. That's a question I'm asking specifically. How far is too far?
Lust.
I don't know how specific you want me to get. Like, I genuinely believe that anything that stirs up lust. So, for example, if I'm in a relationship with a person and they say me wearing off-shoulder tops for them is like, I would stop wearing them.
So if they say you're wearing whatever, is it trousers? I don't know what to call them. You'll stop wearing them.
Jeggings.
You'll stop wearing them.
I would stop with an attitude, but I would stop. Like I wouldn't wear it in front of them. Like it's not like I would stop wearing it completely. I would stop because like isn't it like that's what I'm saying. Like if we're hanging out and he says
Somewhere the women's movement died.
and he says because in the context of a relationship, like for me that makes sense. So the one I would have a problem with is if like I'm coming to church and someone says, "Oh, stop wearing jeggings because it's gonna make men." That one I have a big problem with.
So you have
But
a
if it's in
problem.
the context of a relationship, we're having a conversation and he says, for me, when you put on this, like my mind wanders. I'll be like, okay, so how can we then, it would be a conversation.
Okay.
That's my point.
It's a
So I would say
subjective.
anything, genuinely mean that anything that stirs up last. So then it's something
Anything.
we'd have to have a conversation
So if he
about.
tells you what you're wearing, it's too.
Oh my God, Q. Have I not just
face
answered
stirs up
that?
last.
You'd wear.
But I, my face
You need to
stirs up
put a
last.
bag on.
I would,
No, is there a bar?
just tells
I
you
mean,
your
things
face.
that are reasonable. I'm talking about
Takes
a
you to
man who's
places.
like rational, right?
Maybe the Muslims had it
just,
right. Cover everything.
Yes. You guys were in the you knew it. You knew the plan.
See, I'm like that last statement
But
is
it's
so
true.
hard.
Actually, I've never thought about it that way. Don't you think that's why the Muslims like cover the women are covered in that way?
But I also think there's a sense of accountability that men need to have as well. Like,
No.
because for me, like, I don't know what would stop. I should not go there.
Go
like,
there.
I would be like,
Man, the boys shorts
this
and
is
it's
so
over for
weird.
Bato.
I'm so conscious about the fact that we're on camera. But this is the thing. So for me, holding hands would be fine. Even kissing, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I know for some people that even that's like really too far. I think it depends on, like, you would have to have a conversation with someone. It's like you're self-aware enough to know that this is
What about for
like
you?
if the
You're asking
boundary is
for
there,
battle.
if the boundary is there, I want to stay as far away from it as possible.
What's Bato's
What's
boundary?
Banto's boundary?
The last time I was in a relationship was like 50 years ago. So
You're not even half that age.
I don't even know. Right now, for me, that's a hard question. I really don't know. Anything that I wouldn't do in front of other people, I'm not doing.
But you've said kissing.
You can do a lot of
Yeah.
things.
So you would.
You can do a lot of things in front of a
Kiss
lot of people.
In front of people.
I agree.
Pastor M and Nini kissed on this stage.
Yeah.
during
Really?
the-
They're
Yeah.
married.
Yeah. But still, that's doing it in
That's
front
what I'm
of
saying.
people.
Yeah. So for me, that wouldn't be a problem.
But you're saying relationship, not married.
I'm talking about marriage. Like there's no
we're talking
boundary,
about
right?
yeah.
But I'm talking about
Please don't catch a case.
I'm talking about in the context of relationship. This is gonna sound really spiritual, but I always think like I want to have a clear enough conscience that I can stand as, like, I don't know, your wife's maid of honor in the event that you don't get married to me and feel no guilt.
Hey.
What?
That's a brave statement.
Wait, hold
hold
That's
up.
a brave-
Go back. I need to understand that statement. You
Like
said?
I want a clear enough conscience that I can stand in front of like
So
on the
let's
day of
say
your wedding.
you're dating, you and Batu are dating, and then you break up and you start dating Tracy.
Yeah.
Like she would be Tracy's maid of
Maid
honor.
of honor.
She'd want
Because
to
my
be-
conscience
or
is
rather-
clear enough that there's nothing that we ever did that was dishonoring to you or to Tracy or to the Lord.
Yeah, you want
So
to be
for
poured
me, that's
for
the
hot water.
Huh?
You just want to be poured for hot water by by the
No, for me, like I mean, if the boundary is there, I want to stay as far away from it as possible, and that's why I'm saying I would be willing to have a conversation about those jeans are things you shouldn't wear. Otherwise, like I would have such an attitude if someone, especially, and I also think it's in the way the conversation is had, that would just make me want to either be a rebel or whatever. But yeah, I just mean don't do that.
Ivan, how far is too far for you?
Oops.
I'm not holding hands. Yeah, that's enough for me, man. I
You see
can't lie.
people holding hands with you.
I see. Oh my goodness! I'm
Like
that's-
people out here holding hands.
Answer the question. You're being serious.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
He's actually being very serious. We've had this
That's
conversation.
because nobody's holding his hand. Wait, be serious.
Dang.
But how far is too far? I used to be in the school of thought that everything before the actual deed is fair game. Yeah, but as you progress, you keep growing in your levels and everything. There's a desire to want to keep doing more. Yeah. And Bato got put in a nice safe answer and said she'd like to be as far away from the boundary. But me, I like boundaries, like
Like looking at them,
well, yeah,
petting them.
exactly.
So what's your boundary?
What's your boundary, Ivan? Petting
What's
them.
your boundary?
Petting the boundary. The boundary, guys.
Hey,
What's your boundary?
Beat you around the bush so that you don't ask me that question. But anyways, my boundary. At the moment, at this age I am at right now, it's subject to change for the better or worse. But I would say as far as kissing, that's my boundary.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as what? Sorry,
Kissing.
Kissing.
define kissing.
All definitions.
Heavy, light.
French, English.
Fruity.
Brazilian.
Brazilian.
Eric, what is
They
your
never
boundary?
let me speak on this podcast, man. They don't let me speak my truth.
Eric,
They don't want this to become an educational channel.
how far is too far?
I'm just gonna keep it straight. It's obviously kissing.
That's too far.
No. That's the boundary.
That's the
the
boundary.
line.
All right.
The type of kissing that's wild. I'm thinking not subject to change. I think it's the kind of kissing you can have in public. The PDA kind of kissing, public display of affection kind of kissing. That's like the
Do you guys live in the same country as I do?
yes,
What do you
yes
mean?
we do.
I'm like, in public, people don't show PDA.
People do.
That's
the worst part is you
that's
can
the
get arrested
generational
for
disconnect
kissing.
right there.
That's people do.
Okay, not get arrested like legally, but like cops will actually nini you if you show PDA. Like they'll haggle you.
No,
So
that's
you
not
guys-
true.
Where do you
Wait,
where are you
wait,
kissing
wait,
people?
Even away from cops. Like, let's say we're
Not
chilling
cops,
like
dads.
this, and you two are dating.
Uh-huh.
You just start kissing.
Not start. It's not.
It's
he
not
said-
long kissing,
Yeah,
my brother.
he said kissing that's acceptable in public.
What's
Public.
acceptable?
What kissing is acceptable? That one for
The
marriage.
pecs,
Yeah.
of
For 2
the
seconds.
pecs.
That's
of
a
the-
peck.
Yeah,
Kissing
that's
is
a
out.
kiss though.
You see, you put in the effort, bro. You
You see, you're
Although-
saying
although
kissing.
that-
we're
let's
like,
go with 10
you've been there
seconds
for-
then.
So you'd kiss for 10 seconds in front of your friends.
Yeah.
Why
Kwa
not?
shida ni ya nani? That's on me.
Even
Why
I'm
not?
not.
Alone, be alone. Don't I'm like, what's comfortable between us that we can show in public is where the line is.
And I
when
don't
it comes to
understand
kissing.
what. Why would that be wrong?
So let me ask, Bato. You're the one who hangs out with pastors a lot. You do that in front of those pastors?
Yeah.
For real?
really.
Have I seen them do it in front of me? Yes.
They're married. They're married.
Even in relationship,
We're talking about relationships.
No. Why are you doing it in front of me?
What did
Because
you say
they're
about alone
married.
people dealing with their things alone?
Yeah.
So you would do it.
I would.
Oh my God.
I find that hard to believe.
This part, I'm holding it. When Bato starts dating,
I,
going to take
Don't
a
be
video.
weird about
I-
it. Don't be
yeah,
weird about
don't-
it.
Like,
That's
I'm not.
cap.
Don't be weird about.
Like,
Don't
I
be
don't-
like
I
now
genuinely
that you're
don't see
dating,
anything.
kiss. Don't be
I
weird
told
about
them.
it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
send
don't see
that
anything
text.
wrong with it.
Be
If
weird
it's a
about it.
spontaneous
Don't
moment that
be weird
warrants a
about
kiss,
it.
I don't understand why it shouldn't happen.
I feel like in our African context, that's very weird. Like it's we're very conservative.
No.
When have I ever cared
we're
about
friendly but
weirdness?
conservative.
Yes, you're
That's-
friendly but conservative.
Yeah, that's
Who has ever cared about weirdness? The level of society is determined by the society itself. We will be that society.
That's
We
the
can
thing.
change that conservativeness.
That's a really good
my
statement,
generation and
too.
Eric's.
It's true. But see,
Why
the
you
problem
ending
is,
yourself?
the problem is, why I'm saying why you're conservative about that is because the value system that we have has protected the environment, the communities from being over-sexualized. And that's a problem the West is having.
Yeah.
So for me, like even the kissing in public is not a sexual thing. It's affection. It's not
displays of
necessarily
affection. Public
there's
display of
nothing-
affection,
There's nothing
PDA.
'Cause you see,
sexual about it.
the problem I'm having, you said 10 seconds. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
That's a
While.
long time.
a long time.
That's a long
1,
time.
2, 3, 4.
We've not
5.
even reached
Okay,
you
yeah.
get my point.
Let me go with five.
That's
Let
a
me change to
full-on
five.
session. That's a full-on session. You get my point.
Okay, the
Yeah,
10 does
10
not
seconds is
matter.
crazy.
I don't think you're being literal. Like,
Yeah,
but
I'm
like,
like-
I'm just saying he was making a point, but I don't. It's and maybe the problem is that everything has been so sexualized that even something as simple as an innocent kiss is just like it blows your
Facts.
mind right now.
I can't believe
That's where it all
I'm
started
agreeing
in
with
the
Bato,
West.
but facts.
It all started like that in the West, where they
Yes.
just did like it's just a simple kissing thing, and then people in. Is it
Hey,
California?
we're just saying
walk around?
PDA is okay. We're not
'Cause let's
advocating
even
for the whole,
count 5
the whole
seconds.
alphabet mafia. Come on.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi,
No.
4
4,
Mississippi, 5.
That's
Like,
fine.
Stop!
That's fine.
Five is not bad.
That's fine.
but think about it.
With
You're
people around.
Yes, with people around.
So is the
So,
context like
stare.
you guys having a group discussion and then just 2 seconds later?
Yeah,
is
that's
there-
weird.
is there-
No,
no,
that's
not even
weird.
that.
The
I'm like,
context does really
whichever
matter.
context it is, I'm like, you're dating,
And
and then we're chilling here, and that happens. I'd be like, okay,
Why is that weird?
it's weird.
Why?
Because of our context.
But I get
And then the fact that you say you do it in front of your pastors.
I would, because
the pastors, they are human.
And then because I genuinely don't believe that there's anything wrong I'm doing.
I'd be disrespected if I'm
Come
your
talk to me
pastor. I'd catch hands.
Come talk to me.
I'd be like, let's go.
Catch me
I'd
outside.
tell
Hey,
that
catch me outside. How
dude,
about
we go
that?
to the parking lot
go.
right now.
Let's go back to the parking lot, man.
I know. I don't see anything wrong with it. And especially like probably that would be the context of a date or something. Like you're having couples dates or whatever. There's nothing weird about it.
I still go back to the part of we are very conservative, and that
You
5
are
seconds.
very conservative.
No, we're talking about
Your
the society.
is very
We live
conservative.
in the same
the
society.
society coming up is
We live in the same society, different communities.
True.
So the society we're in, especially we're talking about the people who are older.
older. Yeah.
Okay.
You get. So if we're easy. You get. I'm like, okay, that's your thing. I don't know your relationship. You get. But if it's a couple that, let's say, they want me and my wife to walk with, and then they do that in front of us, hey, I'd catch hands with that dude.
Really?
Are you serious?
Really?
Yes.
You're very conservative.
Why? Why does that offend
Yeah,
you
this guy
at
is-
all?
Your age is really Quentin.
No.
He's become somebody's father.
No, but I'm wondering why does that offend you?
For me, I'm going back to the over-sexualization of our society.
And that's
as
what I'm
an
saying.
African
There's
society.
nothing sexual about showing affection.
5 seconds.
Brother, why is the timing?
The timing matters.
Why is the timing? Why?
A peck is fine. I'm sure he's fine with a peck.
Yes. You
That's decent.
okay.
But
That's cultural. That one I'm like, it's easy. But we're talking about kissing. So we're saying 5 seconds.
No, I'm talking
and
about
above.
snogging, my friend. Like it's not.
I see the Lava Island sleeves that and well.
I have no idea what you-
That's a
Yeah,
very
it's a
Lava
Lava
Island
Island term.
sentence. He hasn't watched Live Island, but it's just the
It's
Lava
a
Island.
Lava Island
No,
term, so-
know.
we used to use the term snogging when we were in school all the time. Unless, yeah.
I refuse
It's
to
an
believe
old
that.
term.
I
It's
refuse
a
to
very
believe
old.
Yeah.
I promise
I
it's a very
refuse to
old.
believe that.
Yeah, it's a very old
I
term.
remember
We
it
used
from
to
high
use.
school.
Yeah, we always used snogging in high school.
Snoggies.
Yeah.
Snogging.
Lies.
That's crazy. Okay, fine. We'll
Our
take
high
your word
school
for
when
it. That's
we
how
were
you
in
know
the
we're
bushes.
different.
We are different
Hey!
generations.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yes, I think
so,
for me-
and that's what I'm
why-
saying. That we're not talking about snogging.
So I think that's where probably we were a bit confused. Like I was confused because I'm saying like it's the timing that I was saying. Because you see when you're talking about
No, you're not having a makeout session. Like that's not what we're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
that's
I think that's what I was
disrespectful.
saying.
And
Going in deep,
And that's
it's just a
weird
bit,
too.
hey,
Like I
yo,
don't
it's just a
understand.
display.
Like you would have to be a specific type of person to like just what like it's so
yes,
weird.
that's what I was just like. That's
It's
that's
so
very
strange. No, I'm just
unusual.
talking about like just
Okay.
genuine
Then we're on the same page.
affection.
You think we're going deep?
Yeah, yeah. I don't, that seat over there is
Damn, bro.
the hell
I
seat.
love it. Yeah, that makes sense. I agree.
It's a love seat.
Wow. Did
It is
Tracy,
like-
Tracy say
Literally,
something?
it's
Tracy didn't say
2-seater.
anything.
It's not
Yeah,
like
I
the
feel
seater
like
it's
Tracy. Oh,
called.
Tracy did. Did Tracy say something?
I did.
No,
She didn't say how far is too far.
Okay,
She never
okay.
said how far. She said what?
Shut up.
She actually didn't.
far is
She
too far.
didn't.
She didn't say.
She didn't say.
Tracy, how far is too far?
Cuddling is too far.
Cuddling.
For
Okay.
me, cuddling
Okay.
is too far.
Unataka kuwa
But
body
I
peke
do
yako.
not everything else. I'd probably hold your hand.
So do you
Holding hand and
wondering-
cuddling,
are you-
stop.
No. Sorry, I'm very curious about which
What's
one
in
comes
between?
before,
Yeah.
cuddling or kissing.
Yes.
I'd kiss you, but not cuddling.
What? God damn. What?
Yeah.
What?
She say
Doesn't
okay.
make sense. Oh, but wait.
100%.
Cuddling.
Cuddling could
What's
lead
the
What do you
definition
mean?
of
What do you
cuddling?
mean by
In bed.
cuddling?
What's
in
the
bed,
definition of
yeah.
cuddling?
Yeah.
Like
Literally.
spooning in bed.
Oh, spooning.
Makes sense.
And
Makes
on a
sense. What are you
couch.
doing in a
Oh,
bed?
out on a couch.
Oh, look at Bato looking like she should
I am
be.
so confused right now.
No, like
She's
for
talking
real,
about-
why are you spooning each other
yeah,
in
why
bed?
you in
Why are
bed
you in
together?
bed?
Exactly,
But
that's
you-
what
so
I'm
that's
You
saying.
can
Yeah.
cuddle on. You can
Yeah.
cuddle on a sofa watching a show.
Exactly.
You can
Still.
cuddle.
Yeah, still that one.
Still.
It's
Hey,
us.
relax.
Ah,
Relax.
Is it
Relax.
not?
Yeah,
Even
it's us.
a long hug is cuddling,
cuddle.
right?
Okay. I think what Tracy is saying, like,
Spooning.
Yeah,
That's what you're
and
spooning.
especially if
Yeah.
you're alone, or even if
Yes.
you're not alone, you get. Okay, let's say you're alone. Cuddling can lead to some sus
Why are you
things.
cuddling?
That's what
Why
I'm
not?
saying.
That's
I
what.
wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what
This
she's saying. She would
month of
not.
June and
That's too
July.
far.
No, but she's saying should.
She's saying
I'm
that's
saying
too
I
far for her.
wouldn't. It's too far. I'm saying I wouldn't do
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But you would.
No.
That no was too slow.
Yeah, that
Was
was
what?
that was a very hesitant no.
Yeah.
No, it's because I'm thinking about like, for example, if you go to watch a movie, is that like
Have you seen those movie seats? Actually, there's
How would you cuddle in those?
no, like you can.
You can.
You can.
What do you
Want to
guys do
tell
in
us something
movies?
from experience.
What?
What do you guys do in movie
watch them.
theaters?
I mean,
I leave Ivan.
things.
Ivan's
Hey.
generation is whack.
What?
We're the same generation.
so cute. I mean,
What they
the
do in
whole,
movie
like
theaters?
someone
Jesus
holding
Christ.
your,
Okay.
like, isn't that cuddling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can call that like okay. I think there's a whole.
The cuddling is
spectrum.
very, very
Exactly,
wide.
like all those things have a
Kitanda.
meaning.
But then
small
for me,
category.
it's like the spooning thing in bed. Because why are you two in
too
bed?
much
Why are you in
How
bed?
bad?
I've even reached their
How did
bedroom.
you get? Yeah.
This is about cuddling on the sofa.
Still, that's a form of a bed.
No, hey, yo.
It can be.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. All right, Eric.
It's very
Yes,
sus.
what's up?
10 seconds. Last.
10
remarks.
seconds, what?
Just went left. Everything just went left.
He said 10 seconds. I'm like, wait, what?
We'll move from Eric. Back to 10 seconds.
But
Your last remarks.
I'm sorry.
dating community. I think it's so important that people learn to not do dating by themselves. Like, don't date in isolation. Make sure you have a community of people working with you, and people who can speak into your life and call you out. Not afraid to call you out when you're doing something wrong. Because sometimes I feel like when you're during the first stages, when you're in love with a person, or like when you're falling for a person, it's so difficult to see red flags or to see. To control yourself as well. So you need people to tell you, I think you're going too fast. I think you're going to, Dating community is my point.
Awesome.
I'm still thinking.
All right, Eric.
Don't forget God. I think it reached a point. No, don't clap. Come on.
good.
I've always been serious
It was a
about
wholesome
things.
take, yeah.
I joke. But seriously, don't forget God, because I understand there are some things that you might think it's too embarrassing or too out there to bring before God, especially matters of lust or matters of how to handle yourself within a relationship, and it gets kind of tricky to admit such things before the Lord and thinking that she'll be embarrassed for you to speak them. Just whatever happens, just bring it before God. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Ivan.
My take is communicate. I feel like that's the core issues begin at lack of communication. So for me, it's speak about the things. If it's something that's bad, because I know Bato spoke about talking about boundaries and everything. For a guy, they will tell you that good Christian guy, but the boundaries the line can be a bit blurry when you get to asking them what it is. So for me, it's like communicate, speak truth, don't lie to women. Yeah, as you know,
Men don't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Men don't lie.
So
Black men
women,
don't lie or
you
no
need-
cheat.
Kevin was here lying and
Bro, unnecessary
That's my
bullet.
take.
Communication,
Tracy?
communication.
wow, you just forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, allow yourself to be vulnerable.
Men.
Again,
Yeah, men.
see what you know. Nowadays, even women sometimes are very hard on how they hide their emotions. But you know, that's a story for another podcast.
Because it's like
Mic
sometimes
drop.
it's used against you.
See, and then that's not the same thing
For
happen to
me,
men.
it's be spiritually.
Spiritually.
End
it.
I'm gonna
It's
fire all
over.
of you.
Spiritually.
Stable.
Gonna catch.
You don't need to be
what?
financially stable, but be spiritually stable. I know, but
Spiritually.
You do need to be
Spiritually.
financially stable.
thank you guys
Don't
for watching.
date a
Make sure
broke
to
guy.
subscribe if you're listening to this on our podcast, probably on Spotify. I'm not sure, but yes. Raw and Fearless, thank you guys for having this conversation about relationships. And until next time, like, share, subscribe. Peace out.
Don't date broke men.
Thank you, guys.
Broke men.